Let's talk a little bit about the whys and the hows of investing in carbon credits. And to first, I guess, to help me better understand all the different ways that government entities are doing around the world in their attempt and approach to limit global warming. So please, maybe we should get started there, if that's okay, Klaus.
What you mentioned about global warming, the challenges, greenhouse gas effect. I mean, that has huge implications. We've known about global warming and what greenhouse gas emissions, can do and the impact that they have since the 70s. But really, it took until 2015, until the Paris Climate Accord, until the world finally agreed that they really need to do something about it. And what that something is basically we need to reduce emissions. The challenge is that is going to require a massive behavioral change.
Yes.
So we really need to learn how to go about our lives, how to go about consuming and generating energy differently in a very, very massive way. Just to give you like a frame of reference, if we, want to have a chance to achieving our Paris Climate Accord goals, to get on that path, we would need to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions by more than 40% by the end of this decade. And so
that's huge.
It's really massive. I mentioned, policymakers have finally coalesced around the idea that we need to do something here. And their challenge, their task is how to set that framework, how to change incentives so that the industry, so that, you and I are going to change behavior and ultimately are going to, change the way that we consume energy. And there's a couple of principles that they can apply, a couple of tools that they have, and the dominant tool that we're increasingly using, is to price the emission of CO2. To basically put a price on something that previously was free, and thereby to change incentives that then change behavior and lead all of us to consume, fewer emissions, if you want.
It seems like raising children is like we reward them and to punish them. Sounds like that's how we change behavior. We are kind of rewarding individuals for doing the right thing, and perhaps punishing is probably a negative term, but really there's a price to pay if you continue certain behavior. Is that what you're talking about here?
That's exactly it, right? It's like think about like carrot and stick approach here.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Certainly putting a price on something that was previously free feels a little bit more like a stick. But so far, that's been the way that we have created systems around the world. Those are already meaningful in size and scale and scope. So if we look at the share of the world's population that is already exposed to a carbon price, we have about 1/3 of the world's population being exposed to a carbon price. And that 1/3 of the population is generating about 55% of GDP. So carbon pricing is already here. It's going to continue to grow in importance over the coming years, but it is already a reality.